Hello, everyone. On our today's episode of Top Talk, where experts speak their minds, we will take a deep dive into the performance management practices that goes on in India's largest premium retail brand for pet products, Heads Up for Tails, and we'll talk about the people who are responsible for bringing joy to our furry family members. To discuss this, we are honored to have Surabhi Venkatesh, Director of People and Culture in Heads Up for Tails. A very warm welcome to you, Surabhi.
Thank you so much, Dipanat. I'm really excited to be here and chat more about performance management.
Thank you so much. So before we start, let us know a little bit more about Surabhi. Surabhi is a strategic HR professional with demonstrated history of working in the not-for-profit industry. An ICF credentialed and certified coach, she currently leads people and culture at HUFT, India's largest organized retail brand for pet products. She works with teams and individuals on strategic planning, high performance coaching and mentoring, and creating a rigorous employee experience. She is a passionate dog parent to her two rescues, Lucy and Mutton, and believes that they are the most impactful teacher. Thank you so much, Surabhi, for participating in our Top Talk discussion with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great. So, Surabhi, before we start with the questions, actually, I read somewhere that in one of your posts that you have been a customer of HUFT first and then you joined the company. So how has this experience been for you, transforming from a customer to a person who actually deals with the people of the organization?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I was a customer for Huft for about, I think, a year and a half before I joined them. And it just so happened that they had an HR role opening. And when I sort of looked at it, it felt like a perfect integration of, personal and professional passions. I think it's been such an incredible journey to be a part of the organization, one, but I also think for me personally, I think just the shift from customer to an employee mindset has been really interesting. I think one, obviously, there's just so much more perspective that I have been able to gain as a result of being now, almost behind the store, behind the website, and just understand what really goes on as we think of products, as we think of, what we're launching for pet parents. I think that's been a really, really enriching experience. But at the same time, I feel like because I continue to be a customer for Huff, I feel like that experience is also really powerful because I'm able to sort of really give feedback on the quality of service that I've received, or the quality of product and its feasibility with my pets. So I feel like it's a positive feedback that's going on, where I receive a lot of feedback in terms of what we need to do differently for our customers, but at the same time I'm able to sort of input a lot of the feedback through my own customer experience as well. So it's been really exciting.
Right, great. So now, based on, as you said, that being a customer yourself and now being able to take those feedback and put it into practice, that is a very important practical thing that is very important for the growth of an organization. Now, coming to my question, the first thing that comes to my mind when I talk about HUFT, me being a customer of HUFT myself, that last year during lockdown, when all the online purchases were sort of stopped, we pet parents were on the verge of facing a lot of difficulties regarding the pet supplies that we got, but your team worked relentlessly in providing and reaching out to people and getting their products delivered so that those family members do not suffer, right? So I would like to know, how the lockdown has overall impacted the performance and the productivity of your organization and the people who are working so hard in bringing the joy to our pets' lives and all the lives of the stray animals as well.
Yeah. I mean, first things first, thank you so much, I think, for just appreciating the hard work and effort that went into last year. I feel like for us, the pandemic really became an opportunity to showcase a lot of our values, showcase a lot of the principles behind which the business is really run, right? So
Right.
I think a big part of our internal culture is built on the idea that everybody acts as an entrepreneur, everybody operates with a lot of ownership, everybody really hustles, right, and figures out what needs to get done, and really holds those outcomes as important, right? So I think the pandemic really tested that for us, and really like helped us really live that through and through. So I think very similar to what you described, we were not in a position where we could just, throw our hands up and say, hey, we can't supply, any of our products and services anymore to pets. People will just have to figure it out. We really needed to get onto that and be true to the idea of the fact that we are partners in, our customers' pet parenting journey, and that we are there for them at all points in time. So I think everyone from, our retail partners who were on the floor in fairly like uncertain, unsafe times, to our entire warehouse team that was working, around the clock to make sure that deliveries were going on time, to our customer service team who were dealing with multiple delivery logistics issues,
Right.
lots and lots of different things, to a lot of the other creative teams who were really putting the communication and message out there, right? That we
Right.
are available, you can depend on us. I think the entire organization really came together to work through that. And I feel like that's been, for us, it's really been, like I said even earlier, like I think the pandemic's actually been an opportunity to do a lot of things very differently, and to try out a lot of different things. So I actually don't feel like for all of us internally, we've necessarily seen the pandemic as a setback, but we've actually seen it as an opportunity for a lot of learning and a lot of growth and a lot of challenge. So I think that's what we've been able to do really well.
And I must say that your team is one of the best team, because when everything was down and I was really struggling to find out from where should I purchase my pets, like where will I get, whether the online delivery will take place and whether I'll get it in time, and HUFT never disappointed.
That's so kind. I'd love to share that with the teams that sort of made that happen. That's really kind. Thank you so much for that.
So the next thing, Surabhi, that I would like to ask you is, you yourself are a coach, you yourself are a mentor. So engagement, employee engagement plays a very important role in, motivating the employee, especially during this uncertain times when, when we do not know when everything will come back to its normal pace, right? So what are the proactive measures that you have been taking in, to maintain the engagement as well as the motivating your team so that they can go through the hard work that they are doing right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think for us, I think we really sort of split engagement into two pieces, right? I think one was geared towards just really fostering a lot of connections, making sure that people are able to spend some time informally with each other in a virtual world, which is very, very different from how people spend time informally in a physical world. So, we would do town halls every month. We would get people to share highlights from their work. We would get people to share learning, successes, accomplishments in their work, catch up on just different reflections and lessons that they've had, through a particular period of time. We did a lot of quizzes, again, different ways to sort of really engage people informally. I think that was one aspect of the engagement. I think the second aspect of the engagement was also, how do you keep them really like engaged, invested, motivated with the larger organization vision and purpose, right?
Right.
I feel like over the last year, I think the pandemic has impacted our people in so many different ways, right? For some, they've, firsthand sort of struggled with COVID. For some, families have been severely impacted. So I feel like through that period of uncertainty and ambiguity, like how do we, we spend a lot of time sort of setting up check-in spaces with managers, creating group spaces to have lots of conversations, keep talking about what are our growth plans, keep talking about what we've been able to achieve, how have different teams contributed to making that happen. So I think that we try to address engagement on both fronts, right? Both that emotional engagement to people and to the overall culture, but also just that, engagement and motivation to what is the organization's mission and what is the role that each individual plays in sort of furthering that. So that's really what we try to do.
Right. I think you are absolutely correct in pointing out how important during this time communication is. Communicating the goal, communicating the vision
Absolutely.
is very
Yeah.
important, because when most of the people are not present in the office, and there oftentimes it happens that communication gap starts building, right? And
Yeah.
this communicating the vision, mission, and keeping them updated, as well as taking care of their emotional well-being, is also very important.
Absolutely. I also feel like, I mean, again, right, I think for a lot of us, it became a time where we were over communicating, right?
Yes.
So, whether it was email, whether it was, WhatsApp, Slack, or, phone calls, I think
Yes.
so many times, like, I think amongst our team members, we set expectations that, listen, I may call you 5 times a day because, there is a certain information that I need, but that's just the nature of the work environment that we're in, right? I also think, like, simultaneously, I think what we've done really well is just been able to operate with a lot of empathy, right? So I think across the board, we also were able to analyze when is it that people just needed space, when is it that people didn't want to engage in something because what they were facing personally, what they were facing with family was just much more, than they could sort of take on, right? And I think just striking that balance becomes really, really important. And just holding that bar for different people at different points in time also was something that was really helpful to us.
Great. Great. So the next thing, Surabhi, that I would like to ask you is, this time has changed, how it has changed drastically, right? So in order to accommodate all these changes and everything, do you plan on, or have you changed the previous appraisal or previous employee performance evaluation method that you used to do? And if yes, then how has it improved or impacted the performance of your organization?
Yeah. So I think before we sort of hit the pandemic, we were still a fairly small organization. And I think that because we were small, there was still a lot of structure and process that still had to be developed, right? So I think what, again, the pandemic did was sort of accelerate that process. So for example, in the last year alone, we've grown approximately by like 150% in terms of just workforce, right? So huge growth in terms of people, which obviously places a lot of emphasis on structures and processes and very formal mechanisms, like you said. So I think that what the pandemic gave us the opportunity to do was to move to a much more agile form of performance management, where we were able to constantly, in a very ongoing fashion, communicate, talk to people about their goals, about their tasks, about their work, but also about their development, right? And I think as part of that, um, uh, um, there was a very clear effort to, for example, set goals very clearly, right? Set goals in a manner that's very transparent to everybody, because again, you're not in a physical environment. You can't really just walk up to the next person and say, hey, listen, what is your goal sheet looking like, right? So we made an effort to make goals very transparent, accessible to the entire organization. We made sure that, again, I think like a lot of, performance management models, we made sure that individual team goals really came down from org goals, that the connections were very explicit, right? That people understood how them achieving their goals would help us achieve organization goals. And I think that, I think those conversations that we kept having, both in terms of check-ins as well as setting those goals and, constantly sort of reflecting on performance, became a really key part of our performance management system. I think that, again, with our appraisal system, I think something that we were able to tweak, which I think was really helpful as well, is we sort of created a little bit of a reflective component. So while appraisals were, not just happening in isolation, it did require both the individual as well as the manager to really reflect on what their performance and accomplishment has been in the last quarter, right? And really use that to also think about what is developmental feedback that is required, right? So we wanted to sort of just move away from the fact that an appraisal conversation is going to be about, money, but we wanted it to be a lot more developmental. We wanted it to be anchored in a lot more of a leadership mindset. So those were some of the changes that we were able to make over the last year.
That is great. As you said, that the increment of workforce up to 150%, that is like a huge growth, right?
Yeah.
And the things that you do, I think that is great. So, in terms of this, as you said that you are in the process of formalizing your entire process to a much greater extent than it was before, as the workforce is growing, right? So, how important has feedback played a part in that? And have you like formalized the feedback process, and how has it affected the productivity and improvement of the organization?
Yeah, I think feedback's definitely been really important as part of that. I think what we've been able to do really and a half is give very point in time feedback on project completion, on tasks. And again, right, because our work is so dynamic and it continues to be so dynamic because of the environment that we're in.
Right.
We're constantly starting and closing out projects, right? So in that sense, feedback is fairly frequent. I think where we would really want to sort of grow ourselves, and I think that's the agenda for, this year particularly, is to be able to strengthen our ability to give more developmental feedback, right? And how do I, for example, if I'm just chatting with you, how do I schedule, let's say, a 190-minute conversation with you to talk about, listen, where do you want to go in the next couple of years professionally? Where are you right now? What are the competencies that you need to build? What are the competencies that you can, really use to as your strengths? Like, I think that the focus needs to be more on developmental feedback, because I think we're able to sort of clear the, day-to-day task-related execution level feedback. But I think that, for us to continue to really harness the potential of our people, I think that's the shift that we'd like to formalize this year.
I think one of the points that you mentioned here, that not only making the performance appraisal or evaluation about the monetary part, but also making it essentially about the developmental part is very important, especially for an organization who is on the path of growth, right? To a such a great extent. And you also mentioned that developmental feedback has played a very important role in that. So I think that is very important as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, Surabhi, the last thing that I would like to ask you is that, as you mentioned, your workforce is growing, and, like you are opening physical stores in every part of India. I will wait for the one that will that will open
Absolutely.
in Kolkata. And what are your future plans in terms of employee performance management for Heads Up for Tails? So if we are talking about, say, 1 year or 2 year down the lane, so what are your plans? What are the thoughts that you have regarding that?
Yeah, I mean, to me, if you were to ask me, like, my ideal vision would be for people to, get to a point where they're able to sort of self-promote and self-change their roles, right? And that doesn't require too many processes. That doesn't require, too many reviews or approvals. But I think the larger, like, if you were to ask me, I mean, the larger vision for what performance management would look like essentially is building a workforce that has tremendous amount of clarity and awareness on their strengths and areas of developments, right? And how they can use that to progress further in the organization. I feel like if I were to look at just accomplishment of goals, I feel like that's a very myopic vision. I think that's very, very important. But when I think of our people and when I think of the role that we can play in their growth, I think the end point for me is, can they get to a position where everybody has clarity on, what they're really strong at, what are areas of development, where do they fit in the organization, and how they can contribute. And I think that the hope that I have is, as we continue to grow and as we continue to expand, there will be more and more opportunity for our existing people to find different nooks and corners to really fit themselves in, right? So today, I think if somebody is in a particular role, I would love for that person to be able to evaluate himself or herself very holistically and say that he or she would like to contribute in another function altogether. And I feel like that opportunity is something that we're very excited to sort of present to our people. So I think that that's the larger vision, I think, for the next couple of years.
Yes. So, flexibility, as you mentioned, right? Flexibility will lead to a greater responsibility taking, right? In terms
Absolutely.
of great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Surabhi, for sharing all these insights. And, most of the time we have heard how HUFT caters to the needs of the animals, but like there are very few times when we get to talk about the people who are working so hard in bringing the joys to the life of our furry family members as well as our community animals as well. So, understanding what goes on behind the scenes is, a great privilege for me as well, that I got to know it. So thank you so much for your time and sharing all these insights with me.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving me the privilege to share about our journey with you. This was really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ravi.